The Marine Toys for Tots foster care program is bringing hope to children who need it most. Every 2 minutes, a child enters foster care, often with only a small bag of belongings. More than 400,000 children face trauma and uncertainty, many before age 8. This May, during Foster Care Awareness Month, Toys for Tots is creating Room for Joy. In 2025, nearly 375,000 children received comfort through toys, books, and essentials, reminding them they are not alone. Donate now and change a child's life.
This is The Other Side of Midnight.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
With Walter Sterling.
Dave Scott, lost in space, the other side of midnight.
Danger, Walter Sterling, danger.
6 minutes past the hour with Walter Sterling on the other side of midnight and Dave Scott on the other side of North America. Unknown Canadian. Dave Scott, this is the biggest evening of your career. Welcome to precedent-setting revelations of information from Donald Trump and the U.S. government. How do you feel about this?
Well, right now, Walter, I'm giving you a tip of the ball cap right now. So thank you very much. And, you know, I got to admit, I feel like I am a kid again waiting for Santa Claus to come. And I don't think at this point in time that I'm going to get coal in my stocking. I might actually get a present that I want. Now, from all indications that I was reading online about UFO/UAP, unidentified anomalous phenomena disclosure, we could see a bunch of papers come out starting at 5 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast. Oh, pardon me, on the West Coast here, and 8 a.m. on the East Coast over there. Sorry, I get my time zones mixed up sometimes. But apparently we are going to get a bunch of paperwork come down in the first drop, is what they're calling it. The first drop is going to be paperwork. Now, we're assuming this is going to be emails. This is going to be reports that have been filed with a lot of names redacted. I don't expect a lot of information. I don't expect Roswell. I don't expect Kecksburg or the Marfa lights or the Phoenix lights or anything along those lines. I think it's going to be extremely vanilla right off the bat, but vanilla sometimes tastes good, especially when you haven't had ice cream in a while. So it is going to be an exciting morning, and in fact, I'm planning on being up in about 4 hours, 4.5 hours, to actually go live on my YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio, for anybody who wants to tune in to see what these files actually say.
So you think at first it's going to be paperwork and not video?
Yes. Anna Paulina Luna, the congresswoman who runs the government conspiracy club, she basically came out on X and said that the videos, because we were expecting up to 46 videos to be released. That's what she put in a request for with the Secretary of War, Pete Hesketh. However, I don't think we're going to get all 46. I think we are going to get some of them. But she says that will be on a second drop, what they're calling drop B. So I don't know when that's going to happen. I think they're going to gauge the public reaction with what's happening with this round of disclosure and the release of the files at aliens.gov. Anybody can look this up starting at 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern, aliens.gov, and we will be able to see what's going on.
I think that the timing of the release of this is going to change dramatically from what the government thinks, because the minute it starts to come out, and our avalanche of questions about what comes out, what about this, where did this go, who said this, how did this happen, we're going to ask so many questions so fast at an increasing velocity, they won't be able to handle it. There will also be profound reaction in churches, synagogues. Relationship with God is going to be affected. They're going to have to deal with that. I don't think they appreciate how many questions and how fast those questions are going to come and how annoyed we will be with redactions.
I 100% agree with you. I don't think you could be any more accurate than what you just said. And that's why I expect the first release of documents to be very vanilla. Look, we'll get some things. We're probably going to get more reports, probably from military officials, military pilots, police officers, even commercial pilots that have reported these subjects. But it's not going to be about flying saucers, aliens, alien life visiting Earth or anything, because they still want to keep that under the rug a little bit, especially if we are carrying technology from an unknown universe or an unknown life system, especially if we are using and have been able to reverse engineer that for our own good. Now, our own good isn't yours and my own good, but it's the military's own good. This is where the military-industrial complex comes into play. So I don't expect anything too big out of it. I don't think we should get our hopes up that they are going to say in 1947 in Roswell, New Mexico, a UFO crash, and we have the aircraft and we have the bodies from this craft. I don't think we're going to hear that at all. I don't think we're going to get into alien contact or alien abductions of people. I think that's too rich for right now. They want to slowly drip this out. It's for safety for themselves. And even President Trump said that he doesn't expect, he expects people will be amazed at some of the things that they release, but it also has to go through national security. What is best for national security? What is best for that is no aliens, no UFOs. They're going to hide it under the acronym UAP, Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, which could be drones, which could be weather balloons, Chinese balloons. It could be somebody's birthday balloon that went up in the sky because a child let it go. It could be anything, but they have to hide their technologies that they have, that we're not allowed to see, that you and I are not allowed to play with. And I always hearken back to this example, Walter. 70 years ago, when we started, cross-continent flights, and the Boeing 707 came out in the 1960s, okay, it took still 6 hours to fly from New York all the way to where my closest airport is, Vancouver. And let's fast forward 60 years to 2026. The technology has improved, the navigation has improved, the aerodynamics has improved, but it still takes 6 hours to get from Vancouver to New York. And the unfortunate part about it is we're more uncomfortable now because they're trying to jam people in. It's not about that technology. We should be able to go a little bit faster, get there a little bit quicker. We're not there yet. They don't want us to have those toys as a society just yet.
This is what Trump said.
Mr. President, I have two questions for you. First, on the topic of space, do you have an update on the UFO files and what might be, when we're going to be seeing those?
Well, I think we're going to be releasing as much as we can in the near future. For some reason, and I guess it's just a reason that's been in the minds of people for a long time, that is such, they want to find out about the UFOs and anything having to do with UFO or related material, and we're going to be releasing a lot of things from that we have, and I think some of it's going to be very interesting to people. I've interviewed people, my first term primarily, but I interviewed some pilots, very solid people, and they said they saw things that you wouldn't believe, so you're going to be reading about it.
He said there that in his first term they didn't tell him anything. Now they've told him everything. And now he's like, well, wait a minute, why? Let's release this. It's okay. And he's going to release it in pieces. And I agree with you. It's because they either feel too much too soon would scare us to death, or we couldn't handle it, or they need to see how we react to a little bit and then how much we bother them. And then there's the commerce part. What is it that is being sold? What is it that we have already sold, and whoever we sold it to doesn't want it released? We may not own everything that we had owned at one time. Things like night vision, fiber optics, that scary weapon that they used in Venezuela, all of that was, much of that was sold to Bell Labs. Others was sold to war-making equipment companies. And it's interesting to me that this is being released through the Department of War, not the Department of Commerce, not the State Department, not the Space Force. It's being released through the Department of War. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting. And once again, it comes down to national security. But here's the power play, to use a hockey term.
Yeah.
Okay? The power play is Roswell. If they do not mention what happened at Roswell in the first drop in just a few hours' time, then we know that this subject is being heavily redacted. Roswell is the key to absolutely everything.
Why do you think that?
Because that would prove that everything that we have learned from, Colonel Corso to the eyewitnesses of Roswell who were told to shut up or die, or shut up or something bad is going to happen to your family, is true. That we have a craft, that we have alien bodies. And that is the big one, because that opens up the Pandora's box that I believe, and I've been saying this for years on Spaced Out Radio, that I believe there is a Pandora's box sitting in some closet deep in the underground bunkers of the Pentagon where all of the UFO secrets are there, including the alleged meeting between President Eisenhower and aliens where he traded, allegedly, humans for technology. Now, a lot of these stories may not be true. Let's be real. They may not be true. But what it does do is, through process of elimination, if that Pandora's box is open, we're then able to either approve what is right or disapprove of what is wrong. And we have to have those options. But if the government is not going to give us those options, that shows that there's a lot more secrets to this than they're willing to give up in this first drop of paperwork, and then the second drop, which will include videos.
Dave Scott, how do we find out more about Spaced Out Radio?
Well, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but at 5:30 a.m. Pacific, 8:30 a.m. On YouTube, I will be going live. I'm only going to get a couple of hours sleep because I'm so prepared for this topic. I want people to come on in the early morning to listen in. I'm going to have live updates with what's going on with the paperwork. My website is spacedoutradio.com, and you can download my show on any major podcast network, including Spotify and iTunes.
Dave Scott, Spaced Out Radio, known Canadian, update on the big event that's going to happen tomorrow, 18 past the hour, with Walter Sterling on the Red Apple Audio Networks.
Strippers on the loose, on the other side of midnight.
Here's something you don't hear about every day. An exotic dancer getting arrested. Not only being arrested, but being fired from her job. Her name, yes, and her first name is a stripper name, is Princess Alaya Bell, 23 years old, quite a hotsy-totsy, and she was on the staff of Taboo, and it's a wonderful nightclub in beautiful North Miami Beach. She got fired and lost her temper, so what did she do? She went right after one of the stripper poles. She grabbed it and tried to stab people with it. She was jousting. She was running at people with that wonderful pole, trying to fight the manager and other dancers. And apparently she was using excessive profanity. Excessive! She was running through the club, creating a disturbance. She was throwing things as well. You can't drop a colorful metaphor at a gentleman's club. I don't know what's wrong with our country. It's a great time to go do that. The manager, who did get hit in the leg by the stripper pole, said she felt moderate pain, but refused to be medically cleared by Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. And quite frankly, I'm going to give you a little tip. You get hurt at work, no matter what it's for, even being attempted to be disemboweled by a stripper pole, yeah, you want to make sure that you're okay, because workers' comp may kick in. And you may have a wonderful time just collecting unemployment and thinking about your coworkers while having a martini every day. Being disemboweled by a stripper pole does not seem like that much fun. But hey, there are worse ways to go. Are there? Okay, very good. From the champagne room, not fearing for my life, I'm Velo Hool. Strippers on the loose, Walter Sterling, The Other Side of Midnight, Red Apple Audio Network.
Walter Sterling, the biggest all-night show in American radio.
And now, all right, coming up, we have more information about the release of the UFO files tomorrow. It's going to be exciting. Finally, our president has said, release this stuff. Everybody needs to know what's going on. Please. Red Apple Audio Network's The Other Side of Midnight.
The Other Side of Midnight with Walter Sterling.
77 WABC and Bergen Newbridge Medical Center honor the life of legendary broadcaster and our friend, Ernie Anastas.
Hi, it's Ernie Anastas. You know, your thoughts can affect how you feel. Bergen Newbridge Medical Center is the largest hospital in New Jersey, providing comprehensive, equitable, compassionate, and high-quality emergency inpatient and outpatient medical care, plus mental health services and substance use disorder treatment. The Bergen Newbridge team can address your total health needs in one convenient location. Call 201-225-7130 for an appointment or newbridgehealth.org.